out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes!
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, Radford pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark.
Sometimes you're in the zone, sometimes you're in a man-to-man. Just depends on the opponent, right? It's all about matchups. It is the Finally Friday edition. See there? You can tell by the logo. You can see that right there says finally it's Friday, which means it's finally Friday. How are you? Coming up, we're going to have Coach Elmo on. He won't be on Monday because he's traveling. Remember, he told us he's going to be everywhere. And then Mike Ashley with open mic. Jen's bailing on us today. Says she has to travel for work. We'll get everybody caught up on what's going on with college hoops, the ACC tournament. You know, it was just like Andy Bitter talked about. I was going to text him. He almost had it right. Florida State just about beat Duke. That's right, T-Bird. I think Carolina loses. By the way, that play Florida State drew up at the end, one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Should have won the game. But what it's done, the injury to Duke's point guard has opened things up now for the rest of the country. They're not the same team. You can't be with injuries. Just like we talked about with Tech. It's injuries. Good morning, Prometheus. Yes, we're in Friday. Of course, the bulk of my long days start today, but that's okay. We've got the Radford Invitational Softball Tournament. We've got ETSU coming up and Lafayette. And we have 2 games today, and then tomorrow it's all day long, starting at 10 a.m. By the way, if you haven't been out yet, it's brisk. It's 29. Oh, hey, it just flipped over to 30 degrees. 30 degrees. Jeremy, are you feeling better? I heard you say, yeah. Well, let's just put it this way. Yesterday became an all-day episode. That's all we're going to say. Yeah. Hopefully I'm through it. Because I'll tell you, if it hits me when I'm on the air today or tomorrow calling these games, I mean, I'm just going to have to go, okay, we're going to have a silent inning. I'll be back. Just like I warned you yesterday. If I have to go away, you can just talk amongst yourselves. No way. Duke got calls. Can't imagine. With Carolina losing, the biggest nightmare for the ACC would have been if Duke would have gotten eliminated the same night by the same score. What if it had been reversed and Florida State would have won? Carolina's out, 80-79. And they're not going to do anything, that they maybe could have done without Caleb Wilson. Let's just say it the way it is. And I'm now 100% more. People can say I'm using excuses, but the Virginia Tech season came down to injuries. I'm sorry, it just did. Too many injuries in Blacksburg. End of story. They were inconsistent, that they played many more games without a full lineup than they did a full lineup. You can call it an excuse. Go ahead. It's okay. Look how it's affecting Duke. Look how it's affecting Duke, and that's just one player. I know it's a key player, but Tech had 3 key players out. Look how it's affecting Carolina. The franchise is out. They're just a normal team now. They're not going to go very far in the NCAA tournament. You become so much more guardable. There's so many more things you can do on your own side offensively. And I get, I talk to enough college coaches. I know how this works. And it sucks. Injuries suck. And to be honest, I hate that Duke's got a bad injury, and I hate that Carolina's lost Wilson, and I hate what happened with Mike Young's team this year. I hate that they got so decimated. They never stayed healthy. It was 2 things. They never stayed healthy, and Neo wasn't the player that they thought he was. And Mike Young messed up some game. It was everybody's to blame, but injuries, I think, are the most blame. I mean, you're the coach and you're making $4 million, so you're the one ultimately responsible. But the players didn't make plays either. It was all hand in hand. And I don't know what it's going to look like. A lot of people were asking me on our professional door text line all day. My opinion is everybody's gone. Until I see a trend in the other direction where maybe 2 or 3 or 4 guys stay, and maybe they do, but if they are, they're probably not significant contributors. All the players who were significant contributors that have eligibility left for Tech have been noticed by every other program. I mean, if you think Ben Hammond and if you think whoever else, I don't know who all's what we got. I think Lawal has another year. Of course they're going to be on the market. Can you obtain them again? Sure you can. But is that likely once they jump in the portal? Not as likely, no. I mean, I know what it's going to look like at Radford. I know what it's going to look like across our league in the Big South. High Point. You think High Point's keeping any of those players? I mean, it's just when I have coaches tell you that you have to just prepare for 12 to 13 new players every year, then that's the way it's going to be. I saw people yesterday speculating on some of these Tech accounts. Well, I think this guy could be back. Somebody posted something about them recruiting some guard. I'm like, just stop. One of the finalists for blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. If they're finalists, then that means they've got a decent offer of money on the table. Can we stop pretending that anybody cares about anything coming into a school other than money? You can talk about playing time, but I'm just tired of hearing it because you're wrong. People are just wrong. They don't want to give up their old mindset. They just don't. They want to pretend like recruiting is, hey, that coach is doing a great job. No, it has nothing to do with it. High schools, I think Prometheus mentioned it. It's happening. There's recruiting happening at the high school level right now. There's pay for play being offered to high school kids to go to other schools. It's happening regularly. And you know what? It's happening in our region too. It's not just another, state's problem or a big city problem. It's everywhere. So these kids are learning at a very young age. They're learning at 15, 16 years old what pay for play looks like. So by the time they get out, and if they've had a good high school career and they know they're in demand, guess what they're still doing? Hey, I went from school A to school B, maybe to school C here in high school. I made some pretty damn good money. And now it's time to go play college ball. All right, let's get my negotiating team ready and let's go. I almost scoff when I hear about, well, they hired these coaches because they're good recruiters. Okay. That doesn't mean a damn thing anymore. It just doesn't. It does not. Thanks, John Doe. Means a lot. So anyway, Carolina's out. I don't know what their seeding might be now. They're going to get punished a lot for Wilson not being there. But we have a situation going on with all this with Miami, Ohio, who was undefeated. They lost yesterday to Coach Martin, who's a very good coach, Frank Martin, at UMass, knocked off the undefeated Miami, Ohio artists formerly known as the Redskins, the Red Hawks. So now I've seen these moronic pundits like Jeff Goodman, I'm sorry, not the actor, Jeff Goodman. And all these people say now that a 31-1 team, whatever they are, 32-1, should be left out of the tournament. We're getting the JMU Tulane argument for Miami, Ohio, from football to basketball. That's what we're getting now. And if you go 31-0, whatever it was, and you've been ranked all year and you lose one game and you're not in the NCAA tournament, then there's no point in even having the event anymore. There's no point in even pretending like there's any legitimacy left in college sports. The argument immediately shifted to, well, that's why Auburn, who's lost, 14 games? What's Auburn's record? Anybody know? Let me look up the dreaded SEC tournament here. I'm so sick of hearing about Auburn. They're not. Oh, Tennessee beat them last night. They lost in the second round of their tournament. Auburn is 17-16, and you've got morons like Jeff Goodman saying that they should be in. Clearly, they should be in. But Miami, Ohio should be out. And everybody's going to talk about their league and who they played and their net and their quad wins and all this crap. But if you're leaving out a 31-1 team, especially when the bubble's as weak as it is this year, the bubble is terrible. We're going to talk about this with Mike Ashley coming up. The bubble is just miserable this year. I mean, Andy Bitter talked about that yesterday. This isn't the year to go around promoting conference expansion. And let me ask you, you're college basketball fans. We're all getting ready to fill out our brackets. Hopefully you'll join the Big Dog Sports Talk bracket on ESPN Tournament Challenge, BIGDAWG. If you want to join, hit me up on the text line, the professional door text line, 391-0788, or here in our McClellan Chiropractic chat room. If you send me a message, I can copy and paste the link to you. But you can find it. You just go to Tournament Challenge, search for the group, and join. It's public. There's no password. Get in there early, and then you make your picks Sunday night, Monday. You have until Thursday. They don't put the first 4 games in there. If there's a matchup that you like, if there's a team that you like in the first four and you think they have a shot to win, you can put that team up there, but you're not picking the first four games necessarily. So go join and get in there and have fun. And we'll have some prizes. I don't know what it's going to look like yet, but there'll be big BDST T-shirts. I'm going to talk to some of our sponsors for coupons and things like that. I'll pitch in some things, maybe some memorabilia, some stuff like that. But anyway, go join it. Big DAWG Sports Talk. But tell me, those of you in chat and wherever you are, where's Morris? Morris not here today. Wayne must have a birthday hangover. I think I gave Wayne the best present he was going to get all day. I mean, he got to see Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, is that his name? No, who's the guy from Poison? Bret Michaels. Shawn Michaels is the wrestler, isn't he? Bret Michaels. You think he was distracted all day, like from his wife? Wayne, you don't even act like you're here. We're having brunch. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going back to BDST and that picture of Brett and said happy birthday. I'm sorry, honey. Oh, did I miss you, Morris? It did not show up, Morris. I do not have it. I've got Prometheus, TLB, no Morris. Just like no Jen today. Alone time with Brett. But let me answer the question. Do you want to see in this tournament, which is built on the underdog, do you want to see Miami Ohio get in or another Power 4 team who's barely over 500 who just got eliminated in the second round of the tournament? Anybody want to watch Auburn basketball? Bruce Pearl run around. Just the biggest downgrade on CBS's coverage, Jay Wright not being there and having Bruce Pearl there. What are we doing? Don't you want to watch these Miami kids? That's what the whole tournament is based on. Morris, you'll have to repost. We did not get it. Anybody else see Morris's post? I did not. Maybe that's just me. It could be. We can't have a real show without Morris's opener. I mean, I don't know what we're doing. I don't want to watch some middle of the pack, barely middle of the pack power team from the SEC in this tournament at 17-16 over 31-1, whatever they are, 32-1, Miami, Ohio. It's not what the tournament should be about. Yeah, teams are lucky. It's like Andy called it yesterday. FSU should have won that game. It was a terrible into the game play they drew up. It wasn't even a play. I don't know what it was. But if they'd have beaten Duke, I think they probably would have won the tournament. With Carolina wounded, Carolina lost anyway. Virginia would have been their only competition probably. Yeah, FSU was playing well. They got it going a little too late maybe. But again, we go back to our point. They can't even say, well, we'll build on that for next year. No, because you won't have those players next year. That's the new part of all this. It's just like for Mike Young, it's hard no matter what they do in the NIT. And I've been told they're going to accept the NIT bid. I think everybody's gone. I think everybody's gone. Unless they've already negotiated knowing that they're not going to be. I mean, the main players will be gone. What's up, Kevin? No, I don't believe Neo. He just asked on the text line. No, Neo, no, I don't think there's any chance that Neo will be back. I don't think he wants to be back. He may go back to Greece. No. And yes, Mark, another Mark, I do believe Mike Young will return. Yes, I do. Yeah, I don't know what's up, Morris. I'm seeing your post now. But no, if anybody else sees it, let me know. I'm seeing what you're doing now, Morris. Like, I saw your question, did it post now? And I see weird I posted yesterday and I guess never seen. But no, I don't see. I see what you're doing now. Guys, let me know. Is it just my chat or is your chat showing the same thing? Let me know. We work through these issues together. Family Fencing will work on your fencing issues no matter what they are. Give them a call, 540-200-8294, or check them out, familyfencingnrv.com, sponsor of our studios here in Reiner, where it's 30 degrees. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hunley, 155 Walters Drive, sponsor of our chat room, which is just so much fun. And here very soon, I'm going to try to call Mark early next week, and then the next week get over there, and we're going to film me going through the gauntlet. The gauntlet. Yeah, they should have. Florida State went away from the formula. Never break away from the formula. I mean, if I go to a place and there's something there to eat that I like, and you always like I sit across from my fiance, or you might be there with a buddy. Hey, why don't you try something else? You always get that. And then you get it and you're like, this isn't what I wanted. Stick with what you know. Stick with what works. If I go somewhere to a sandwich place and I want meat and cheese, that's what I'm going to get. Florida State able to get to the basket. It's working. Keep going. Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Talked with Stacy Compton at length yesterday. So we're looking next Tuesday for Stacy. He's been traveling, really busy. Can't wait to unleash all this with the IHRA. I talked to him about some other things, potential broadcasting during races. We're going to have a lot of fun with Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller, presenting sponsors. We're going to spend a lot of time at the track, and some of it I might even be sober. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. Charles Lee, 540-553-2971. You thought I'm done with my heat? No, not yet. But regardless of that, Charles Lee and his crew are the best heating and air unit folks in the business. Just trust me. Cost, effectiveness, quality of work. 540-553-2971. Just do it. Speaking of quality work, our newest sponsor, Sundown Electric, Jeff Smith, his brother, the whole crew. Yesterday, randomly, somebody was just talking to me. He said, hey, man, I heard Sundown's now sponsoring your show. I said, oh, they're great. They did some work for me down in Salem about 5 years ago. I'm telling you, everybody who supports this program, sponsors, have nothing but impeccable reputations, and I'm proud of that. Craftsmanship like no other, attention to detail. Give Jeff, if you need anything, Sundown Electric down in Elliston. It's awesome. And I love it when somebody joins the show and then people start telling me their own endorsements that they've used these folks. That's awesome. Just like the Ready Set Fund. ReadySetFund.com. Bob Christ, CRIST11 at Gmail. Floyd County girls surpassed what they need. Last year they needed right at $4,000. This year they went to almost $4,500 in 5 days using the Ready Set Fund. If you've got whatever it is in a real organization, this isn't just saying, hey, I need money to go out and get drunk. We're talking about real needs, people who need it. ReadySetFund.com. It works and beyond. Professional Door Incorporated, Travis Williams. Commercial and residential garage doors. 38 years. What does that say? 4 decades almost. His dad started that business. They've expanded regionally. They get calls from all over the region, 3-4 states away. They sponsor our text line, which never stops buzzing. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of yours truly, and this program. I'm going through, it's complicated when you get refinancing done and all these things. Step by step, they're taking me through it now. They answer any question I need. Larry Ramsey and that crew at National Bank, the absolute best. The attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. We'll have to get a better question. Of course, next week we'll be able to go right into what we're talking about with the tournament. We need everybody to jump in here, especially it's in chat. Again, it's through ESPN Tournament Challenge, Big Dog Sports Talk, just like you see at DAWG. No password, no nothing. Just get in there and do it. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply over at 300 North Franklin Street, James Lawson. Home Parts, they've been around since 97. 540-381-8011 in the NRV Super Bowl. They've been around for almost 30 years. 382-5525. This weekend, Friday night, Saturday, late night stuff. Go see them. Go over there and hang out. That's where we're going to do our BDST meetup with Morris. And thanks to Top Shelf Apparel, Brandon, for our T-shirts. Yeah, exactly, Prometheus. They shot way too many threes. That's what college basketball's become. There you go. T-Bird had a great steaks at Alamo Steakhouse in Pigeon Forge. He and his wife were there. T-Bone was good first visit. Then again, he had a rib. Exactly. Stay in the steak family. You're eating steak. What are you going to do? Ooh. I think I'll have that macaroni salad. I think I'll go with the chicken. No. You're eating steak. You have steak again. Morris, something's wrong. You're getting short post. Yes, I am, but not the open. Sons of bitches. They put a governor on your engine, Morris. Coach Elmo, ready, set, fun, Virginia Tech basketball. Coach Elmo is going to be on at 7. He can't join us Monday, so we're having him on today. He's already getting cranked up this morning. Yeah, maybe Bob Chris is going to get a lot of business now from schools. Yeah, we need, tell you what, can you tell me how we can turn those text messages into like $15 million to sign players? That'd be great. But Big Dog Sports Talks, I don't think I can copy and I'm going to try. So if we have a little breakdown here, let me know. If things screw up, let me know here. I'm trying to do something here that I don't usually do during the show because I don't like to mess things up. I'm on my browser while I have the show on, and I try not to have this thing tied up. So hopefully everybody can still see me. See me. We had a boss, and she was one of the worst people in the world back in radio a long time ago. And she used to always have these stupid meetings. And when you got the email that said, see me, you knew that it was going to be something and you're just going to roll your eyes. All right, I want to see if I can do this. That was back when we were Cumulus Radio, by the way, just went bankrupt for the 5th time. Okay. Tell me if y'all can get this and click on that. Hey, there you go. Now, you might be able to click on it. That's the actual address of Big Dog Sports Talk Tournament Challenge right there. It did work. I'm proud of myself. So if you want to get in, do that. Important notice, we're making. Okay. So get in there and join. It's fun. It's not, fun unless we're all doing it. I did put the link up on the Facebook, on the YouTube page where it says posts. I am posting that. Did you know when I post shorts? Now, I've been doing shorts for the last week and a half since I figured out how to do it. That we're getting anywhere from 800 to 1,400 combined views of those every day. It's awesome. Can I brag a little bit for those of you and sponsors and potential sponsors? Can I do a little bragging? Can I do a little boasting here? I'm going to. I'm going to. We've had this week on this program. Can y'all see that? 28,000 views. See that little meter going up? See right here? See the little, there you go. 28,000 views. No, we're not getting subscribers though. That's the thing. We got a couple. But the climb to 1,000, that's why I'm asking people just to, at some point you just need to grab their devices, go to YouTube. Here, give me, and just subscribe for them. I think people think you have to pay for it. So maybe I'm not getting that message across enough. No, it's free. Just like it's free to join. Somebody just said you have to pay to join your fantasy league. No, Tim. It's free. Why would I charge you? Yes, it's going to be $43 for every entry. I want that in $1 bills, please. I plan on going to West Virginia tonight. Get it? Because of Southern exposure. See what I did there? Southern exposure. So I don't know what to do about subscribers, but you saw the views. Channel's very healthy, but nobody's going through and, well, no new people are going through and subscribing. So, but there you go, sponsors. You're being seen and heard. Anyone who's potentially wants to be a sponsor, or if you know somebody, we're going to treat them right. 28,000 just this week. Just this damn week. Don't go on YouTube, they said. It'll never work, they said. Well, actually, no, I was being told it was going to work. And I'm the one who was saying, nah, nobody would care. Thanks to Wes Durham and Bill Roth, who kept pushing me. What do you mean? It's just a stupid radio show, I said. Come on, Rick. You've been doing it since 2001. You're kind of a, what did he say? What did Wes call it? I can't remember what he said. It was a word similar to institution, but it wasn't institution. You disappeared, right? And everybody, they'd go around and everybody said, where's the show? Bring the show back. Come on. So here we are on YouTube. So thank you. No Jen today. She's traveling for work. She said she was going to be listening. I said, well, if you're listening, prove it. You need to send us a message in chat. You can at least do that. Traveling for work. She seemed generally upset because she likes Friday. She goes, it's kind of my release at the end of the week, and I like to talk to people and see everybody. So I think she was telling the truth. I'm going to pretend like she's not, and she's just lying. So, that's what I always do when she tells me she can't be here. Or traveling for work. It probably meant she's flying to some exotic country with some dude who doesn't appreciate Southeastern Conference football or fine meats. And I'm a fan of salmon. I didn't think I would be. I owe Chad Hyatt, our head athletic trainer, all the credit in the world. He kept telling me that I'm missing out because I'm a meat guy. Or says, I don't know what to do. I posted the opening yesterday and 4 times today. Maybe type in another sentence like you're doing there, then like copy and paste it and see if it shows up that way. Morris spent too much time at the Palm Coast on the beach. You know what's going to happen at some point, Morris? I'm going to come down there. All right. I'm going to come down there and we're going to have just beverages, fine meats, and we're just going to sit there. I want to sit there with you looking out over the ocean at the Palm Coast when the sun is setting, and then we're just going to, debauchery all night, and then watch the sun raise up, and then I'll pass out in the chair. That's what I want to do. Prometheus, you're there. Yep. We're all three. Just anybody else want to come? Come on. We're just going to line up the beach chairs, right on the edge when the waves are like getting our feet wet. We'll back up when we need to. We'll pull forward when the waves recede. And we'll just be it's going to happen. It's not NIL, Vic. It's pay for play. I'm starting that, and people are starting to jump on. It has evolved into what is destroying collegiate sports. Not that people shouldn't be paid, but there's no governing. If you're just tuning in, Vic, subscribe, Vic. Tell your friends. We talk about this too much, actually. I know we do. And we talk about pay for play all the time because it's so prominent in what's going on. We all care about it. We all love it. Morris says, bring it, all of it, Atlantic Grill at Nicholas Resort. There you go. Or if they have a deck or something like that. Whatever. That sounds great. I mean, you've already got me hooked. Atlantic Grill at Nicholas Resort. I think Prometheus would approve too. Whoever else wants to go, let's go. We'll rent a Winnebago and we'll just head down to the Palm Coast. We'll make fun stops along the way. What the hell do we care? Chad says, you grilled my wife's salmon. I'm not, it's too easy. I'm not going to. I love me some Brenda, but I'm not going to do that. And it was over from there. Yeah, it was, but it was you also always getting it, Chad, on the road and going, I'd go, that does smell awfully good. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you gave me a bite of one of your, and now I have to have it like every week or two. Nothing worse, Vic, than participation trophies in youth sports. I can't stand it. Oh, let's let everybody get the same recognition because it's so much fun. No, I'm with you there too. Vic might be one of us, peeps. Come on, Vic. But no, we talk about pay for play all the time. It's the worst thing that's happened to collegiate sports just because they had no plan for it. TLB says, Morris, there may be words or numbers in your post that are getting it blocked. Maybe, I don't know. That sucks. Because the thing about it was working. You may just need to shut down your computer, Morris, reboot, and get back. Believe it or not, on the I've only had, since we've done this started in August? I've only had 4 or 5 major incidents, and 3 of them were solved by just getting out, letting the computer set for about 3 minutes. Whereas when I was with radio only, Rick, the tower is down and no one can hear you except people right there within about 5 miles. Oh, by the way, the internet stream is down. So you could pretty much talk about anything you want and not get in trouble. Oh, okay. What caused it? We don't know. It just fell. One time, I swear I got the explanation. I don't know. The tower just fell down. Do you know when it's going to be back up? No, we're trying to get a hold of the engineer. It might be a few days. Okay. Thanks. But here, it's broken down. All right, let me try this. Hey, we're back. And remember, it happened once in show, and everybody's like, Rick, you went away. Rick. It's true. They probably wouldn't let me say what I wanted. That's true. That's a good point. Good point, Prometheus. That's why you keep the fires burning. Wasn't that a REO Speedwagon song? Keep the fires burning. Let it keep you warm. Wheels will keep on turning. Let them turn you on. Wasn't that a song? She just randomly popped in there. It's Friday. This is what happens on Friday. Isn't that a song? Wayne? Isn't that an REO Speedwagon song? No. High school athletes should play as many sports as their heart desires. No coach worth a damn is telling any kid that they shouldn't play multiple sports. It only enhances what turned out to be their major sport. I can't stand it when I hear coaches, and it happens too much here locally where they try to tell kids, no, you need to focus on this. Now, if a kid makes a conscious decision and he says, you know what, this is what I want to do, which is what I did with football at Pulaski County High School. I mean, what the hell else was I going to? Come on, Joel Hicks. It's one of the three greatest men I've ever known. My dad, Joel Hicks, Mike Jones. I mean, I'm going to play football for Joel Hicks. Hell, I made travel team. This is what I'm doing. The hell with basketball. I mean, that was my decision, but I wouldn't want any kid to be told they can't, especially nowadays. Kids need to have their dream. If whatever sport makes them feel good and they want to try it, they might discover they're good at a sport that they didn't know. Absolutely. Let them play it. And any coach who tries to limit a kid, they shouldn't be coaching at that school any longer. So it was REO. Did I sound like the lead singer? What was his name? Cronin? Who the hell's the lead singer of REO, Wayne? Keep the fires burning. He looked like a guy who'd be making your prescription at CVS. Let it keep you warm. The wheels will keep on turning. Let them turn you on. Kevin Cronin. Man, I got half of it. Do I get a little credit? No, it's not Ronnie Millsap. No. Smoky Mountain Rain. God, that's a good song. And by the way, when you're going to Gatlinburg, TLB, or you're going to Pigeon Ford, and you're going into you need to play some Ronnie Millsap. All right, thanks everybody. Kevin Cronin, thank you. He had kind of a white afro for a while. I do like Roll with the Changes. That's a good song. Getting better, Vic. I didn't like Brady the first year or two. I thought he's getting better. Because just like how he developed into the best quarterback arguably of all time, I'm sorry, I'm not a Patriots fan, Vic. He's taking it seriously, and I got to be honest, I think he's getting better. Now, Tony Romo, on the other hand, has regressed to the point to where he should have his tongue removed and he should never be allowed to speak into a microphone again. I don't know why you say that, Rick. Ah! No, I'm not going to do Natalie Imbruglia Torn. No. First of all, I wouldn't even know how the song goes. Yeah, we've got Elmo and Mike Ashley today, Promo Atheist. No Jen, though. Jen's bailing on us because she said traveling for work. Ooh. Like that's important. Going to work or doing something for work is more important than hanging out with us on the show? Really? We're getting Coach Elmo back today because he can't be on Monday. Remember, he told us his schedule. We have to get an update on Coach Elmo's schedule and find out where the hell he's going. So we're just free-forming it today. That song played daily on old radio show. Yeah, I don't remember. No, I don't remember it, though. Like, I can't cue it up. Natalie Imbruglia's Torn. That's true. For some reason, it was one of our out cues until I had it removed. So far, extremely overrated, Vic. Do I think he has exceptional talent? Yeah. Do I think he's been unmotivated because he's already rich anyway, being a Manning, and he's making what, $5 or $6 million at Texas? Yeah. Do I think he's a guy who could win a national title? We'll see. I mean, he wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He had a gold spoon shoved somewhere else. That guy's been entitled since he started. Jen can't chisel out 5 minutes. Exactly. Well, I can't take calls, but she could. Yes, on her phone, she could join. Yes. Yes. I looked up the call price. It's unbelievable how much I could add a phone only thing, but I need a lot more sponsors than that. What did Chad send me here? She keeps the home fires burning. Crack of dawn, I hit the road, set my shoulders for the heavy load, coffee leaking through the paper sack. The foreman says I'm late again. He can't stand it when I only grin. She keeps the home fires burning. Ronnie Millsap. I love Ronnie Millsap. This is probably going to come out wrong, and I don't mean it wrong, but have you noticed how every blind singer is incredible? Right? Go through the list. Ray Charles, Ronnie Millsap, Stevie Wonder. If you like Spanish music, who sang the I Want to Wish You a Merry Christmas? I think he was blind as well. I mean, it's something to it, man. I think because Stevie Wonder talked about he's so in tune with all of his other senses that it enhanced his musical ability. Solution to transfer portal abuses. 2-year commitment. You can't jump 2-year contract and make all the athletes employees. There, I just fixed it. The schools are never going to agree on a cap, and they're never going to agree on a floor, which is what Major League Baseball is dealing with now. But you have to commit 2 years. Here's your contract, and you should have incentive clauses. If you don't live up to it, you don't get that money. You want to be paid like a pro? You want to be paid like all the rest of us in our jobs? Then you should have a contract. You should be an employee. Sounds like it's time for a phone carrier to sponsor me. That'd be great. Yes, we'd love that. Anybody want to jump on? I mean, I use Verizon here at home. I'm sure that would happen. But it is extraordinarily expensive to add that mechanism to a YouTube show. Wow. I was like, really? Because they want the video. They don't want. Nothing's fine. I'm torn. I'm all out of faith. This is how I'm feeling. I'm cold and I am shamed. Lying naked on the floor. Illusion never changed into something real. I'm wide awake. Oh my God. What gabbledygook is that? Is that Torn? Is that the lyrics to Torn? Jose Feliciano. Thank you. Another blind singer with a great voice. But am I wrong? And I think it has something to do with being so in tune with, because supposedly you lose one sense, everything else gets enhanced, right? That's what, and Ray Charles talked about that too. Yeah, they have to rely on their ears. Perfect pitch. Yep. I would love a cap Prometheus. I just don't think it'd ever be agreed to because the SEC acts whatever it wants to do. What's up, Brandon? Agents won't ever let them become employees because it limits their ability to make money. Well, that's where the agents can't be given that kind of power, and they shouldn't have any because there's no official job title. There's no kind of agency, right? This is where the schools have to have some sack and say, that's what I'm saying. Since there's no official laws, there's nothing on the books, the schools could stop it right now. They don't want to. We'll talk to Coach Elmo about this. I'm going to ask him that question. T-Bird, TLB. My oldest daughter scarcely knew of Ronnie Millsap till he opened for an artist she went to see live. She couldn't believe how good he was. Oh, incredible voice. The guy from Roadhouse. Yeah, Jeff Healy. There you go. Good one, Wayne. He's playing the steel guitar. And I saw a clip of his a few months ago where he's on stage with Stevie Ray Vaughan. Oh, I'm telling you, something about it. Because I think Stevie Wonder is one of the 5 greatest musical artists of all time. And Ray Charles, you kidding me? By the way, this is cool. My son was in, his spring break's ending, and they took off. They're going to Bristol in the casino. Then they're going to some water park, which is awesome. I'm happy for him. He's got 3 of his buds with him, and they're having a good time. I heard from him last night. We watched Blues Brothers the last time he was in. He had not seen it. My daughter had, and she loves it. And I heard in his room Monday or Tuesday, because he left Wednesday. I heard the Blues Brothers soundtrack coming from his room again. And I heard the Ray Charles Shake Your Tail Feather coming down the hallway, and he's up there. And I'm like, yeah, I did something right. Blues Brothers is a good movie. The music, the people they got to do it. I remember Dan Aykroyd says he can't believe it. They went and they all asked, and they all said yes. James Brown, yeah, I'll do it. Aretha Franklin, sure. Ray Charles, yeah, let's go. What? John Lee Hooker. He's the one sitting when they go to the outside the tape store. He's sitting there, boom, 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 just playing one of his classic Muddy Waters. Oh, God, son. Go listen to some John Lee Hooker. Oh, he loves Stevie. He's got a big Stevie frame poster. It's the only thing he took with him to put on his wall at school. It's really cool. And he plays the songs. I know I'm being braggy father now, but he's gotten so good at the piano, he just plays by ear now. I mean, he sits down, he can play 5 or 6 Elton John songs. I'm like, really? Okay. This one, Vic, this might be the one you don't like. I'm changing my vibe on that one. Yeah, we talked about it, Brandon, but if the committee doesn't let them in, just cancel the tournament. They deserve to be in. I don't want to hear it. I mean, if you're gonna do that, what we're doing now is we're just doing what the college football playoff tried to do. So Morris is only posting some things are on. That's weird. I don't know, Morris. Shouldn't be on my end because I'm seeing some of your stuff. But anyway, Vic, yes, I see it too often. I'm going to see it all weekend. The inconsistency, especially at the collegiate level, it makes no sense to me. We have a pitcher on our softball team, Morgan Cooper, and she is so much fun to watch. She pulls the string. She changes speeds. Chad knows. She can hit the corner. She is really strategic. I love what reminds me of Greg Maddux, the way he used to pitch. I love watching Coop. And she was hitting the corner, and she wasn't getting strikes. And the other pitcher wasn't either. And she was the same. She was good too for Campbell. I've gone 180 on it, Vic. I think we need to have a strike zone that buzzes through, and then they get a little thing, and then they call it yes. Let them still be base umpires. Don't take them out of the game completely. Fair ball, foul ball, safe out. But yes, we need an electronic strike zone. Major League Baseball's worse, and it shouldn't be. They're supposed to be the highest level. Greetings from Australia. What's up, Patrick? Please subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends. You know, Patrick, we have like 3 other subscribers from Australia. We do. And I'm not going to do my horrible Australian accent. I'm just going to say welcome. From my southwestern Virginia twang. And I know it's already either the next day or late at night on Friday where you are. Is that right, Patrick? You're like at 12 or 14 hours ahead. Is that right? Something of that nature. We need video of me trying to hit Coop's pitches. Oh, she would have me twisted into, well, we don't have dirt anymore. We have a beautiful new plastic field. But yeah, there'd be no chance. She's good. Yeah, come see us this weekend. We got softball all weekend. 2 games today, 3 games tomorrow. There you go. Thank you, Patrick. 10 p.m. So it is, what is it? It's 7 here, so 13 hours. Uh-oh, that's math. Yeah, 13 hours difference. How's Friday going? What's our future look like, Patrick? Everything cool? See, it's like you're living in a time machine. Patrick, we can go to Patrick. He can tell us what's going on. Yeah, there's no dirt. It's happening most places. And I know I'm a purist, but where we were, we needed a field. Because the dirt would always blow up. It was a horrible infield. Vic, Shohei Ohtani can do whatever the hell he wants. He is arguably one of the top 3 to 5 players of all time. He should not be limited. I think it's incredible what he's doing. It blows my mind what he's doing in the modern age. He's very humble about it. Anything Shohei Ohtani wants to do to enhance baseball should be allowed, in my opinion. It's hot. What's the temperature right now in Australia here in mid-March? Uh-oh. Tebow says reports of increased money for tech hoops appear to be inaccurate. Money going to be tight. That might influence Mike Young, too. Brett would say every college sport has its thorns. I see what you did there. And he would sing it very without any kind of rhyme whatsoever. Welcome, Vic. I like Vic asking direct questions. I hope we'll see how much he and I agree on. Does Patrick like a Vegemite sandwich? Brandon says the Radford Ops crew is grateful we don't have to do much for softball. Yeah, that's just all I hear about. All right, 20 degrees Celsius. All right, we don't go by Celsius. What do we got? What is that? What is 20 degrees Celsius Fahrenheit? We're just common Fahrenheit folk here in the States. What's up, Jason? Happy Friday. Go join our BDST challenge. I copied and pasted it once. Can I do it again? Oh, look at that. It does work. Something's happening, though, with Morris. There you go. There's our challenge. You can copy that, put that in your browser. If it doesn't, you can just go through and shade it and copy it. And then it's 68 degrees at 10 o'clock at night in Australia. Thank you, Wayne. Coach Elmo is going to join us here momentarily. Vic, you're going to want to ask Coach Elmo questions. No, it will not make a profit. The WNBA is a complete farce. It lost $40 million. If the NBA wasn't supplementing it, it would have been gone a long time ago. And now they're talking about a work stoppage. They had the greatest opportunity of their lives, and they destroyed Caitlin Clark because reasons. You know the reasons. I know the reasons. No, it will not. If the NBA decided to pull its funding, watch how quickly that league would go away. And all these players that are talking about, oh, we need to get our worth. What is your worth when the league that you participate in loses $40 to $50 million annually? What is your worth? You want to be paid your worth? That would be nothing. But you had the greatest marketing opportunity ever and you pissed it away because of jealousy. Let's just say it, because of racism. I'm not afraid to say it. It is what it is. And nobody in that league did anything about it, and they let it happen. It's ridiculous. There'll never be another player that has captured really the national stage like Caitlin Clark. They had a chance. And sure, she's still playing in the league. And sure, she's still around, but they completely crapped it away. And now nobody cares what any of them have to say. Nobody is on their side saying they should make more money. Why should they make more money? Coach Elmo is going to join us right now. Coach Elmo, good morning. Glad you're here on a Friday. Look at you wearing Tech colors. That looks great.
Good morning, Rick.
Coach, if you worked at one of your schools over the years and you were costing them money, would you go out the next day and demand even more money?
No, not at all.
How are you? You're leaving. You're going to be gone. Take us through your travel schedule next week.
Well, oh boy, it's tape your ankles for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you're going to have to get in your stance.
Honest to God, I got leaving for Charlotte. I'm going to drive to Charlotte this afternoon and tomorrow morning to fly out to South Bend. This is a direct flight from Charlotte to South Bend, and that's
cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, and they're expecting some snow. You know, South Bend is, I think, east of the Lake Michigan, obviously, and anything in those north. Like when I lived in Syracuse, we were east of the Great Lakes, and it's always cloudy and the weather's very dreary up there, and so it'll be a little touchy there weather-wise. And then I'm coming back Monday. Then Wednesday, I'm going to South Carolina spring practice. Torian Gray is the defensive back coach who I got to coach, and I actually helped him get his first job. That's a whole other story, another show. It was fun story. And then the next week, depends on. We're trying. A friend of a friend's trying to set up a get together at Frankie Rowland's there in Salem, and I thought I'd do my Roanoke College, Virginia Tech tour, going to spring practice the following week, and 2 weeks, and then I'm going to New Mexico.
Wow,
University of New Mexico for clinic their staff. Spent a couple of days out there. They're flying me out. The head coach, D coordinator, know very well. And then at the end of April, Todd's going to have me down at Birmingham on the 14th of April.
Get you on at
so
the
I'm
same
still
time.
employed, Rick.
We'll get you two on at the same time. That'll be great.
Probably to get chewed out by the head coach. You approve this SOB?
You wanted this guy here? Look at him, Coach.
Story of my life, Rick.
Well, I think it's great, and people have been asking. By the way, we'll do this too at some point. They see all the cool stuff behind you. They want to go around and show and talk about what all those pictures are and everything at some point. Yeah, we need the stories. We need the stories behind it.
What was fun, I used to have players over the house a lot. As Brian White alluded, I'd have them over. It was interesting. Let me digress a little bit. Really impactful when Coach Norton was very personable, and we all, we were up players. I'd go up to his house when I was playing, and one-on-one, I was very close to him even when I played, as close as you could get. But when I was with Coach Holtz, when I got to William and Mary, the first Thursday before the first game, Thursday night, he had the whole team out to the house. And I'll tell you what, that made an impact on me. I've never, when you walk into the house, Skip Holtz was 6 years old, and you walk into the house, and it was just, you could see him relaxed and with his family, and it was a great atmosphere and a teaching moment also to find out about who you're playing for. And that impacted me so much in the coaching part of it, because that's the Thursday before the first games, I would always have either my unit or the defensive. If I was a coordinator, I'd have the whole defense out to the house, and then in the spring, I'd have them out to do a barbecue, and and I'll tell you, it helps so much. So I used to have a big basement. I always have a basement, had a pool table, and that pool tables are. You get a lot of conversations around.
No question.
Okay. And I used to have I would call it the wall of fame or shame, whatever you want to call it. But I'd have a chronology of all the places I'd been in, team pictures and individual players that were impacted me. And they all told stories. Every picture told a story. That's how I looked at it. And the players would be fascinated, not necessarily about who I was coaching or the accolades and the plaques, but the stories behind them. And they would always come over. Hey, coach, what about this guy? What about this player? And so that was so I got rid of it. One thing I did when I left coaching, I was always just there were boxes and boxes and boxes of plaques and all the bowl memorabilia and things, and I threw it all out. Because I just to let it go. Then there was no place to put it, because I'm living in condos now and not houses.
Right.
But there's a couple of pictures on my wall there that are very dear to me. Some are recent, but I have a William and Marion Fair memorabilia. I've got one picture of with me of this one. I'm looking at it right now. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us that went to a fair and function back in the 80s, that all 5 of us that went to William and Mary, 5 people that were transferred from fair to William and Mary with Coach Norton. And it's a lot of fun. One of them is a gentleman named Judd Mason, who had just passed away. Judd was he was actually a trainer for Coach Norton, a student trainer. And he got to William Mary and did the same thing at William and Mary. He worked with a guy named Mont Lincolnarger, who was the trainer there, and that's how he got his scholarship per se, and helping to pay for William and Mary. We went into ROTC, and he was a lieutenant colonel in the Marines, and he was then he was stationed out of Quantico. In the Marines, and the thing I was so proud of him, and he was a great guy. He had just passed away 3 weeks ago. Really sad. It's a sad moment for all the fair and people who knew Judd. He was with Coach Norton in the 60s, about 67, 68. And his mission in the service was to fly Squadron 1, the helicopter, Marine helicopter for Reagan. And he had Carter and Reagan was his deployment to fly to Camp David. That's what he did while he served in the Marines. It's so cool, the stories and stuff. And he'd bring us back these memorabilia from the White House, little matches and postcards and pictures. And he always sent me a Christmas card with the Squadron 1 helicopter superimposed over the White House. That was his Christmas card. It was really cool.
That's cool.
So, Fair and boys did good, man.
Oh, yeah. Morris is right, by the way, Coach. You're in a little bit of trouble since you joined the program. Everybody wants you at the BDST Bash whenever we do it over at the Super Bowl. So we got to figure out when you can be in town for that.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. I'd love to do that. I think that'd be a blast.
Yeah, we don't know when we're doing it yet. So you got to let us know when you're available.
Yeah, listen, the New River's always calling me, Rick. So
I know. See, you got incentive. Yeah.
That's a part of my pictures on the wall now. Recently, I do my trout fishing in rivers of North Carolina up at Sapphire Valley in October, and I do my smallmouth bass fishing. There's one place at Parrott, Virginia, right south of Radford. On the river.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You've heard of it, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
No stop signs and no stoplights. So I go to Parrott one day I'm fishing out there, and it's really hard because it's a you can fit 2 cars, but it's a 1-lane road.
I know.
And if you've been down there, to get on the river, the embankments, it's hard you need a 4-wheeler. Yeah, exactly. So it's hard to park, but there's a couple of places you can. So I go down there and park. Well, I'm pulling out of the river one day, and this old gentleman comes up to me, older gentleman in the car. He goes, "Can you help me?" I said, "Well, I hope so. What do you need?" He said, "I need something to be moved. It's really heavy. It's a big frame. And would you mind?" He was an older gentleman, but my age. And I said, "Sure." So I got in the car, followed him. He's got a house that sits back about, I would say, 40 yards from the river, okay, which is all his property. So I help him. I'll tell you, the thing was heavy as hell, too. Geez, I don't know how I even helped get it up there where he wanted it moved. So we're walking. He goes, "Yeah, come on, let's take a walk down the river." And it's a beautiful spot. Every 10 yards, there's riffles. About every 10 yards, 5 or 6 riffles that, where all the food's coming in for the bass.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he said, "Yeah," he goes, "I got a buddy of mine from Kentucky comes up here." And he goes, there's 3, 4, 5 pounders in there. I said, "You're kidding." He goes, "No." He said, "Let me tell you," he said, "for your help, you come in here, fish anytime you want. Just pull up and you drive your car right down to the river and pull up." So as we're walking back, I said, I was going to ask him about his background. And he told me he was a Virginia Tech graduate. I said, "Oh, that's kind of cool." I go, I used to coach there." He goes, "You that Elmassian fellow?" I'm very reluctant to say yes. I go, "Yes, I am." Now, Rick, every time I've always met someone who's part of Virginia Tech, I've never heard this. He said, "You created quite a ruckus up there, didn't you?"
Well, I'll tell you, the first time I heard your name, and I still remember it, Bud Foster was in my studio when I was just doing the radio shows, an afternoon show. He had a weekly segment.
Oh,
and it was
cool.
one of the first times he came on. And he said, "Yes, we are." Jury wants to know, "Are you 2 mob guys from The Sopranos?" "Yeah, I think we are." Yeah. And we were talking, and I remember it was something about the core of his defensive and influence since he's become the coach. And the next 2 words out of his mouth were Phil Elmassian. That's a true story. That was back, I don't remember the exact date, 2003, 2004, something like that. How about that? And now here you are.
Well, Bud's been very gracious in terms of, again, even Todd, most of the coaches that I got to work with and work for, just because of my background, having played for Lou, having played for Hank, which was a tremendous influence on me, especially with personnel. And that was the number one probably that they would take away from working with me, is how relentless I was with personnel and evaluations. And I would say I probably was about 90% accurate. 9 out of 10 kids in all the programs, I was pretty spot on with what they could do, what their potentials were, and what they could do with the given to the program. And Bud always appreciated that. I think how they evaluated personnel during that tenure it wasn't about the X's and O's, but the reason why you have a defensive scheme and an offensive scheme is you got to know what you're recruiting for. That's number one. That's why you have it. And so the fact that we did the Miami thing and downsized to create speed, the Corey Moores and the Cornell Browns and people of that nature, which was Jimmy Johnson's philosophy of creating speed when you couldn't recruit speed. You're not going beating Alabama or LSU or, for that matter, even Carolina at that time for players, or Maryland at that time back in the 90s. So we created speed by getting linebacker type kids making amends, and Virginia Tech became a fast football team. And then the pressure of the defense every down was another factor, which was a lot of fun. That was the kids had a blast with it. You know, they know who did not want to blitz, Rick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really. So, you know, rather than standing stagnant and, you know, creating. But I've always appreciated Bud. People ask me, why'd you leave Virginia Tech? I said, so Bud could have a career.
I know we do appreciate it, but I think it still gets taken for granted what a brilliant coach. I mean, he's one of the absolute best to ever do it. I mean, do people understand how good he was, right?
27 years, Rick. 27 years of the consistency. You know, and again, the spread offense, to his defense, as it, you know, he beats Ohio. When he beat Ohio State,
exactly,
number one, he basically, what people are doing now, what they're doing now versus the spread, he got into the bear defense, the center and the two guards covered, the old
changed
46.
Right.
And put the free safety on the quarterback. Was playing really a cover zero type schematics, you know, with only a 4 or 5 man rush. And Urban Meyer to this day goes, they weren't ready for it. And he played it the whole game.
Yep.
But years later, as it went on, and then he just relied on it so much that East Carolina beats him 2 years in a row. Because when the quarterback kept the ball and the free safety missed the tackle, he was hitting his head on the goal pole. So the spread offense, you know, he for 25 years, 26, 24 years, what Bud did a great job was keep adjusting the defense to keep the defense relevant to what people were doing against it and how the offenses were evolving. But the last 2 or 3 years, the spread finally caught up to him as it caught up to all of us at our age in this business. You know, all of a sudden, you got to defend the quarterback. It's an 11-on-11 game. They got a hat on a hat, you know, and as opposed to the 11-on-10 game because the quarterback was not involved in the offense. So he did a masterful job of that, keeping it all relevant. And that's where that was my downfall. I was a Johnny one note guy. You know, I just kept doing it, and then all of a sudden get my ass kicked. And didn't even know I was getting my ass kicked. You know, so that's why I'm here talking to you, Rick.
But yeah, you're still being utilized. So it still continues for you. Even now, you're still being tapped into, which I think says everything. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Well, it's I really love it. Like I said, the thing, you know. As Brian White's book, you really miss. People say, what do you miss? Well, in a locker room, win or lose, that locker room, when you go into that locker room after a win, it is as joyous an occasion as you could ever want to be in. And then when you lose, it's just the emotions that people have. All the barriers are down. There are no barriers. There are no walls. And it's almost as draining, you know, winning too. I mean, I'm a crier. So, you know, I go in the locker room, I see these kids' eyes and I just start crying, you know, so I miss that.
Well, it's passion. It's who you are. I mean, I think that leads people to success. If it means so much to you, if it didn't mean anything to you, you wouldn't have been nearly as good at it, right? And you were good at it.
You know, it's like George Welsh used to say, why are we so hard on the players? Because if not, you're doing them an injustice. Because guess what? Someone's getting trained to go kick your ass and embarrass you in front of your family and your girlfriend.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's what I used to tell them. I would tell them we'd be playing so bad. I said, let me tell you something, boys. If you got a girlfriend sitting in the stands, you're out of luck. Okay? They ain't going to want to date you anymore.
No. I'm with you. We've had a new viewer ask a lot of questions today. I want to ask you, and I think I've asked you this before, but with the money that's being made and everybody's making it, Todd told us every kid on scholarship's getting paid, even at UAB. What are some of the big things you would do to counter that or absorb what's going on? And if you were, say you still were a defensive coordinator somewhere, you were Wisconsin's defensive coordinator waking up today knowing that you spent, I don't know, $22 million on your roster, and maybe half of that on defense. Well, how would you go about,
first of all, you got to embrace it, Rick. You have to embrace it. It's a part of it. It's not going away.
No.
It's just not tomorrow. That's for sure. Not this year. I think every time Todd comes on the show, I get to learn from him. I don't know if anybody is handling the situation better than Todd Grantham that I've heard and talked to coaches. His perspective and that NFL background. Nick had an NFL background. Coaches that have NFL backgrounds that are going, whether they jump from college to pro, back to college, or from pro to college, I really believe you better have an NFL background. And if you don't, you better go visit these people to get a perspective. Because I've always heard Todd talk about their value, and not only as a part of the conversation of how we're going to increase your value, how we can. It's like I used to have a I love this. Coach Saban hated this. I don't know why, but this is one thing I got from Coach Holtz. I used to have a self-evaluation where they'd fill it out, and then I'd fill it out for them, and that's what we would go over. And the first thing was a number deal. It's all about numbers, visual number that you can, because it's about, okay, so I'd have in the first part, I said, number 1 was All-American, number 2 was All-Conference, number 3, start on a winner, number 4, make a contribution. And so that'd be the first number that I would ask the players, okay, where are you? And not what you think you are so much or what you've been, but where are you right now? Tell me, we're gonna always stay in the now, not what can be. So give me a truthful eval on what you see. And sometimes, if a kid thinks feel like he's in all conference at this point in time, I may say, hey, you're good enough to start on a winner, and that's okay. It wasn't about, there was no wrong on this, multiple choice circle the answer. And I would have below it, my first categories. After that, the second and third and fourth questions were: how's your speed, your change of direction, your strength and conditioning, the physical attributes that the game's going to demand and require, regardless of the position. Okay, so that would be one block. All right, number 1 being rate your talent level in terms of like All-American, all conference, blah blah blah, and then we go down. Okay, give me your assessment of your talents, your God-given talents, your speed, your change of direction. Then I go back down through the intangibles: your character, your discipline, your accountability, your ability to, your handling adversities. I can't remember all of them, but it was about your toughness, mental, physical, and I'd have a little description of what we were talking about. And all of a sudden, you could total up all these points, and you can put them in categories, player, prospect, or suspect. You're either a player, you're a prospect, or you're a suspect. And the key is okay, let's say this kid we're on the same page, Rick. You and we've evaluated. You filled out the sheet, and you said, I think I can start on a winning football team. 8 and 9 was my number, always my number. Can you give us 8 and 9 wins through your performance? But next thing you know, there'd be low numbers in the other categories, and all of a sudden, like I said, if it's character, count on me was number 1. Does what's necessary, and on and on and on. Well, the lower the number, the deficiencies. The higher the number, the less the deficiency in all the categories. So the bottom line was, I said, okay, you want to go, here's the goal, to be all conference. This is the number you have to move into the left-hand column to do that. Okay, and so it gave them. It's like a roadmap. You try to give them the roadmap. When you have something, I always tell them, "Hey, I'm gonna give you a plane ticket to Hawaii. I give you $1,000 a day per diem." I said, "What's the first question you're gonna ask?" And they would probably say, "Why?" I go, "No, the first question is, where are we leaving from? The dumbass, they're going to go, why? Why are you doing this? It ain't about why. I'm offering it to you. All you want to do is, where are we leaving from?
Right,
so
right.
You don't know where you're leaving from to know where you got to get to go. So
it's a good analogy. I like that. I like that.
And it was neat. And I did it in the spring. I did it twice a year. But so now you're putting dollar signs a part of the evaluation. Okay, I'm a $2 sign. Like I said, I do it by dollar signs now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a one money guy. I'm a $1 sign. I'm a $2. Okay, so I'm a $2. Where are you? Are you a $4 sign guy? A $3 sign? Where do you think you are? What you worth? You tell me what you think your worth is. Now, today, not what's going to be. So I would have that in the evaluation. As I would. I think I'm a $3 sign. Well, and I think, but so my evaluation, I think you're a $2 sign. No one gets mad at each other. That's just what my evaluation is.
And then you talk about it and you explain why.
We say, okay, how can I get from 2 to 3? How do I get from 2 to 3? Because my evaluation, my job is to make sure that the guy you play with puts us in our best position to win. That's the number one responsibility I have to you and the head coach that I'm working for and this football team, to play the best player that gives us the best opportunities to win a game. And as the Lou Holtz acronym goes, what's important now?
Yeah, I like that.
So that's how I would handle it.
Yeah, I could see I could see you segueing into this era, no problem whatsoever. I really could. You just feel it.
The only problems I would have is I had enough Lou and Dick and me and all those crazy intangibles, between my Ferrum and my William and Mary.
Yeah,
I would probably use a lot of sarcasm with it too.
We're
paying you this. We're paying you
exactly.
This.
You're how many? Really? Yeah.
Like I used to tell them with scholarships, I go, by the way, I said, you need to be arrested for robbing a bank. I said, I'm going to call the campus police right now and get you arrested because you are stealing money. But Rick, the thing I would do that with, I very rarely did that with football. Very rarely. I did it more academically, even when it was a B student that I thought could be an A student. Because again, I always backdoored what I wanted on the football field by challenging their talents off the field more so than on the field. I would get what I wanted on the field by challenging their quote talents off the field.
Right.
That was my secret to doing things. And sometimes it was ugly. Like I said, when I very rarely take calls from former players because I don't know if they're going to sue me. When I went to that 86 Virginia Tech reunion, I told Janet, I go, better stand far distance away because I don't know if you're going to hug me.
Well, listen, I don't know if you're available next Friday. Maybe we can plan on next Friday. Where are you next Friday?
No, next Friday I'm home. So, okay. Monday. I do it Monday morning, Rick, but the only problem is I'm flying out Monday morning. It's going to be a snow day up there.
Absolutely,
Rick, can I add one thing, Rick, real quick?
Yeah, of course.
You brought up. Every time I always listen to the thing because I get a little notepad and I start writing some things down. Things you're bringing up, which, are well-founded. These players in high school that are, because of their parents or especially the parents that got money, they're having their own trainer. They're playing one sport. I hate that. I think that's a disservice, a total disservice. And because the high school coaches that were all, you can't play this. You got to play basketball. Those guys need to be fired. They need to be fired in high school.
100%.
You can't imagine, Rick, how many high school. And when I was coaching at Richmond, particularly. When I would go to a ton of track meets, I'd go to all the track meets. Like at Newport News at Todd Stadium, they'd have all the Peninsula teams at the track meet. I found 3 scholarship kids on track. Not on the football field, at the track meet. Kid named Jesse Moore in the shot circle, 6'2", 270 pounds. man, he's in that circle and he whipped that shot. It wasn't like he was a football player, but all the football coaches were the track coaches. So, he was about 60 foot. He popped it out there. It wasn't like he's a national. He's going to the nationals, the Olympics. But, man, the speed in that circle. And when he flipped those hips, I went, the agility and the speed that he generated. I went over to the high school the next day. And then I found, and he was astounded. I said, he was an B student, great kid. And we signed him at Richmond. He started for us as a true freshman, as an offensive lineman, started for 4 years. And another kid named Reuben Turner from Bethel High School. Dennis Kozlowski was the coach, and all his players, Dennis was great. In the spring, you were either playing baseball or you're coming off a track. There was no spring football. And that was a great thing about Virginia. So, I know the southern states had spring ball, but when you don't have spring football, you came out for track or baseball. Well, he had this kid out for track. He wasn't a track guy. He was just a football player, but he wasn't doing anything. So you're going to track. What are you going to do? You're jumping. You're jumping or throwing something. You're not running the 100 meters, 100-yard dash at the time or high hurdles, but you're going to jump or throw something. So he did the long jump. And Dennis is recommending this kid to me. He goes, hey, why don't you look at, well, he popped out about 21, 22 feet. Nothing great, but all of a sudden you see this spring in the leg development. I said, Dennis, this kid, this good-looking kid, he's about 5'11"-ish. He said, yeah, because he can play. So I go back and watch the tape on him, and he's playing middle linebacker at 180 pounds, 5'11". I said, Dennis, I can't bring this back to coach. He said, Phil, he's a safety. I have to put him in the middle because they can't block him. He will make just about every tackle on the field if I put him in the middle as a middle linebacker. And so I watched him in the fall. We signed him at Richmond. He started for us as a true freshman at strong safety. And so I found kids at track meets. And then the other thing, Rick, I'll leave you with this. The thing I loved about multiple sport athletes is they got to deal with the different coaching personalities.
That's right.
And that says a lot about a kid. You know that, Rick.
Different expectation. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you're talking about, and then different locker rooms.
Right.
So guess what? This kid's learning about a lot of diversity, and then how to comply and adapt. It's adaptation is as important as anything in this sport. Especially when the game is so volatile, it's so tough, and it's a moment. And the moment can change from positive to negative in a second. And how are you responding to this? And so when you do different sports, you're in different locker rooms, different out. Baseball is different from football.
Sure.
Track is different from baseball. Gymnastics. I did gymnastics in college. So that's my little soapbox in terms of athletes and multiple sports.
Yeah,
I think it's great teaching. When kids play multiple sports, I like recruiting those kids.
No, it's well said. It's well said. Before we let you go, Coach, Moore says, hey, you are a great coach, Elmo. Sorry about your friend again, Lou Holtz. I laugh every day now. I laugh every day now about Lou-isms that I look up in quips. Great man. And people have been thinking about you, by the way.
Rick, I do everybody in chat. I appreciate Rick.
I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot. Yep.
I text Skip Holtz. Okay. I've known Skip he was 6 years old, but Lou's son. I sent him a picture. Some of these pictures on the wall were my William & Mary diploma, the 71 football team that coach was coaching at, some pictures of coach, and also some William & Mary memorabilia. So I took a picture of it. And here's what I said. I said, Skip, 1971, a year that changed my life. It's with great pride I tell people I went to William & Mary and played for Coach Lou Holtz. He said, in the spring, started out as a quarterback till we had a passing scrimmage. Got moved to DB the next day as coach told me the only thing I could throw was a fit. So Skip texts me back. He says, thanks for sharing. didn't know. He said, didn't know Dad cared that much about the forward pass.
That's great.
He said, sharing Lou Holt stories is how we're all going to heal. Look forward to seeing you this weekend.
That's right. Well, as I know, it's going to be emotional, but you're also going to have that. That's going to be cool. That's going to be cool. All the
Rick,
stuff.
William and Mary, NC State, Minnesota, Notre Dame, South Carolina. Can you imagine administrative players, and then plus all the? I mean, it's going to be a who's who. Yeah. I'm not staying Monday for the church service because it's. Sure. I'm just going to the visitation on Saturday, which is open to the public, about a 3-4 hour deal. But that way, I can get to see Skip, shake his hand, and I know he'll appreciate any and all the people that are going to be there, especially ones that got into the coaching fraternity as much as anybody. So,
well, that's awesome. That's
hard
awesome.
To keep you, Rick. Like I said,
never. That's great. Well, we're thinking about you this weekend. I know there'll be a lot of fellowship and maybe some closure in certain avenues, but Coach Holt's story will never be closed. But anyway, I know,
the closer this gets to the travel is, the emotions.
Sure.
Like I said, I'm a crier. I can just look at people and I'll all of a sudden. So I hope I got to be able to hold it together myself. And I'm and everybody in chat, believe me, I really do appreciate the thoughts. It's very much appreciated, Rick.
Well, Coach, it's sincere. I know that. And you stay safe when you travel. Hope you and your wife have a best weekend possible, man. We'll run you down.
You have a great weekend too, Rick. Take care. A lot of fun, as always.
All right. Stay safe, man. We'll talk to you next Friday.
All right, buddy.
All right, Coach. There you go. Coach Elmo. Great stuff. And thanks, everybody who passed along well wishes. That's awesome. That's awesome. So thank you for that. Vic, appreciate all the questions. Tush push should have been banned for 2 reasons. For one, it's not a real football play. And secondly, they always move early. There's always a legal procedure, and they don't call it. So all of a sudden, they start officiating the offensive line differently. So the league couldn't handle it. So that's another reason. Sending Mike Ashley his invitation now. Thanks to Coach Elmo. Mike, I don't know if Mike's still in Texas. I don't know where the hell Mike is. Jeff says, my daughter's a Division II soccer player. She played on a high school state championship volleyball teams in the fall at Auburn. Ran indoor track. There you go. I'm sorry, Brandon. I missed your question. Hold that question, Brandon. We'll ask him next Friday. All right. Elmo on the balance beam. Somehow I think he could pull it off. Somehow I'm not, somehow I believe he could do that. Let me let Mike know I sent him the invitation. Mike's down in Texas. He lost track of time. If he's still in Texas, I'm not sure he is. He might be, though. I'm not sure. Not sure. Good stuff, though. Thanks for all the questions. Appreciate that. Thanks again to all of our wonderful sponsors, the NRV Super Bowl, Top Shelf Apparel in Pulaski, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, Sundown Electric, Ready Set Fund, Professional Door Incorporated, National Bank, member FDIC, The Attorney, Ryan Pry, Little River Heating and Air, Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, our presenting sponsor, Louise Baker, Family Fencing, sponsor of our studio, and McClellan Chiropractic. There he is, Mike Ashley. Where are you? Are you back home?
I'm in Fairfax, yes. Okay. The snow sends me.
Oh, dude, I came home yesterday for lunch. There were 2.25 inches in my yard, and I was like, what?
Yeah, we were expecting a little bit. I was actually supposed to go to Harrisonburg yesterday and meet some friends, but it looked like it was just going up and down 81. So that's no fun when it's good weather anymore. So,
No.
Yeah.
Well, how you been? We missed you. How was your travel down to Texas?
Micah Fest Destiny? Yes, getting to Texas, and I flew down there and then drove back over about 4 days. And, exciting stops in Beaumont, Texas, Meridian, Mississippi, and then near Knoxville, almost to the Buc-ee's, almost made it to the Buc-ee's there, and then had to roll through, but didn't have time to stop anywhere in Ure Valley, which made me very, very, very sad. But needed to get these people where they needed to go, and I needed to get back and get the home couch advantage for the ACC tournament. So
yeah, right. Well, speaking of tournaments, we're getting down to it now. We'll have Selection Sunday. Could be the last year we have this format. We'll see. The bubble looks terrible, yet Miami, Ohio loses its first game yesterday, and everybody's saying these people, I don't know what planet they're on, that they shouldn't be involved. And Mike, we're all that's what's made this whole NCAA tournament what it is. The teams like that get an opportunity, and to have so many people seemingly joining together to say, oh, they lost, they shouldn't be in at 31-1. I mean, if we lose sight of that, then there's no point in doing any of this anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's amazing to me that the poobahs, the people in power, don't seem to understand what makes this thing so special. It's it's those first round games, the absolute joy of an upset of some team that rarely gets in any kind of spotlight like this stage provides, and coming through and showing you that that great basketball is played everywhere. I always think that, heading into the Big South tournament, man, that those quarterfinal games this year were just amazing. That round in the Big South tournament. It's because generally the teams are kind of evenly matched. Now High Point seems to have some advantages now with their Camp Mohawk, but all those games were so good this year there, and you look at the ACC last night in particular. My gosh, but Virginia had a little bit of a tussle there, the opening game, and then last night, Duke had all they could handle from Florida State, and I thought Clemson just played a great game. I do get a kick out of Clemson because Coach Dick Bender used to be at Radford, is on their bench, very distinctive with the white hair there, and always holding the big board right there next to Coach Brownell. He seems to be the only coach that gets to say anything to Coach Brownell during the game, seems like. So he's got an important role, and he was a great X's and O's guy at Radford for years. Did a lot of good there. Set the stage for that first Big South title.
Mike Jones gets fired from UNC Greensboro. Class, as always, had a great statement after 24 hours when he had a chance to absorb it. I've spoken to him, and when you see things like that happen too, all I know is this, Mike, if Mike Jones isn't involved, college basketball is not a good play. He needs to be back in, and he will be involved. And I thought his statement was very special. And I don't know what UNCG thinks they are, but they're not. They're not going to do any better than Mike Jones. So.
No. There isn't in our region, Greensboro is a major city. So, I mean, I understood the allure. But yeah, that I don't know what they're thinking. I think they're going to regret what they're losing in Coach Jones. Such a class act, and such a good guy, and such a stabilizing factor.
Anyone there.
And that's the thing. That doesn't seem to be enough. You remember when he left Radford and left that note for Darris there in the office that we all heard about, and just, oh my gosh, yeah. Good luck to Mike Jones. Mike, yeah. I hope he's in basketball someplace.
He will be. He'll be somewhere next year, and he'll make that place better, and he'll influence young people more than just about any other coach. So no doubt about it. What you got?
You see my hat?
Yeah. What is your hat? I can't really. It's a baseball hat. What is that? Oh, you got to say.
The lighting is terrible. It's a BLT. It's the Bayonne BLTs. A BLT sandwich, one of my favorites, with wings.
I love that. That is cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I got the sun coming right in on me here. I just can't get it right down here in the basement. This desk is positioned so I actually have a view of the outside. And
is that an actual minor league hat?
It's a faux minor league hat, which I also wish the Ridge Jacks was faux, but I haven't got down there to get me any gear yet. But
yeah, you're not. I think that's a trip you don't need to rush to.
Plenty plenty of products still available.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to run out of Ridge Yak gear anytime soon.
I always want to call them the River Yaks because we got.
I did too at first.
River
Yeah,
dogs.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, and they keep shamelessly defending it. Like, yeah, I know they have to, but whoa, terrible. Just terrible. Just terrible. All right, what do you got for us on the open mic this week? We missed it. We missed it. So
you almost led into it. First, people need to know I'm not actually a bracketologist. I just play one on podcasts. 40-some years working in college basketball, and you'd think I know a thing or two, or three if I'm behind the line. Somehow it doesn't ever translate into March Madness, registered trademark of the NCAA, and into winnings for you-know-who. That's because I usually pick with my heart instead of my head. And then when I realize what I've done, I sort of go back and correct with my spleen. I probably need a bracketectomy before the Sweet 16. I covered the Big Ten for 11 years, and by natural birth and NCAA birth, I'm an ACC guy. I got to cover the league, as Gary Williams said, for 16 years. And yeah, I'm a Big South buff with some old Metro Conference mixed in too. I'm a mid-major mutt. Here's what I do know, though. Top 5 teams in the field have won nearly 80% of the tournaments since seedings began in 1979. It's not fun to pick those guys unless one of them happens to be your team, but you don't finish in the money picking off the radar schools to go to the distance. Yeah, a 16th seed has beaten a 1 now, but that is still more rare than the big dogs saying something nice about the NBA. And the gap between college sports haves and have-nots has grown in recent years. George Mason, VCU, St. Peter's, and this year, Miami, Ohio, we have some turtle wax, some rice-a-roni, and some other nice parting gifts for you. I saw an NCAA study that said half of the losses for a winning bracket occur in the first round. You got to pick a 12-5 or 11-6 upset, but most of the bigger, stronger, more athletic, more moneyed teams seem to survive, just like in life. Look at field goal percentages, rebound margin, and points per game offensively and defensively. Use those to compare. I used to like to see which teams had more seniors and juniors in their rotation, but that makes me an analytics fossil. The pace slows in the postseason with extended timeouts, and there's one stat that has started to stand out more with the way the game is played. That's volume of three-pointers. This past season, underdogs of 6 or more points who beat favorites. Boy, I hate talking like a Vegas guy. This past season, underdogs of 6 or more points who beat favorites shot more and hit more threes, 5 per game, than their opponents. It's definitely a trend in recent years. Neutral courts and neutral officials mean a real chance for the underdog, and that's the big magic that happens this time of year. Then the favorite starts to feel a little heat. We've all seen those games. Power 5 coaches hate that and continue to gerrymander away from the little guys having many bids and much chance. But little guys are the beauty of the tournament, Rick. You know that. Their chance on a national stage. Let's be careful out there picking. Use your head and follow your spleen.
And I think we're going to get further and further away from it, but it's sad. It's sad.
Joe Lunardi, I don't know if you saw him on ESPN yesterday.
No.
Well, he had some good ideas about this. He talked about how you could, if you want to expand a tournament, you just add a first 4 at each region, so you can get up to 80 teams. And I'm not a fan of that. Again, I've had the most simple thing. The thing that made this so successful is the bracket as constructed now, except for the first 4. It fits on an office copier. That's how this thing got so big. Everybody in the office could play. You could pick the teams based on school colors or mascots if you didn't know anything, and you still got to follow along.
That's right.
Now you're gonna make it so big it's not gonna work. And I don't know what the future is. I just know that something has to happen to allow teams that don't necessarily want to compete in the NIL brand of college athletics to have a place to play and find like partners. And I'm hoping that somehow some something like that happens in the next couple of years, because if not, it's going to be, we're going to see, we've seen more schools kind of disappear just because of the way college athletics is now, and the way higher education is now. And that is not a good trend, my friends.
No. Well, you said it though, Mike. You're right. It's it's almost like they're scared of the opportunity that these mid-majors have because of the success, the track record of success, and Sankey getting up there running his mouth, and the NCAA president saying, "Oh, I'm all for us." Come on, they're just being led by money, being drug. I mean, it's going to turn into watching like Big Ten quarterfinal games in the NCAA tournament. Nobody cared a Thursday night in the Big Ten, and I don't want to see that. I don't want that.
Well, by the way, which means I have not been able to watch Maryland play. They're on Peacock, and I don't subscribe to Peacock because you know what? I've got 30 other basketball games on usually. So why would I pay more? I don't understand why the Big Ten has done that, and I don't know how prevalent that is in other regions, because the Big Ten with Maryland in it, although this was a really incredibly bad season for them, is the whole point was to get Maryland in and bring more TVs to the stage for the Big Ten, and continue wonderful rivalries like Maryland and Oregon and
yeah, those traditional
regionals and traveling across. Yes, we're committed to academics, but our kids are going to have to go to Oregon this week and be at Stanford or whatever. Stop talking and fix all this stuff. Okay. You had all this time. Now you've put it in the hands of the federal government. So how's that going to work out?
Morris says, Mike, you are a wordsmith treasure. Love it. There you go. He is a wordsmith treasure. What we need to do, we need to commission you, being such a wonderful writer that you are. I think Coach Elmo needs a book deal. We need to get Coach Elmo's got so much unbelievable traction throughout the decades of college basketball. We need to get this thing going. We need to figure out how this would work. We need to get Coach Elmo printed is what we need to do.
It's all I can do to get up on time and be on this show. I can recommend several good writers. And you know what? I remember when Elmo was at Virginia Tech. He overlapped my time there on Coach Dooley's staff. And he was a go-to guy. He was one of those assistant coaches you wanted to talk to because he would tell you things, not out of school, so to speak, but you knew what was going on when Elmo told you, and you could kind of read what was going on by his tenor, his reaction.
Absolutely.
We loved Elmo back in the day.
Yeah. Well, he's one of a kind, man, and he sharp as a tack. I tell you what, it's fun just listen. And I love the fact that like Todd and other schools he got invited down. Shane Beamer invited him down to South Carolina spring practice next week. He wants him to look at his team and to get his take on it because he remembers him from his days, growing up. How cool was that?
That is great, and it shows a lot about why Shane is successful.
So, North Carolina, your Tar Heels out. What do you think Hubert Davis is doing a good job? I'm not judged. This isn't like me thinking he's not. I just hear it all the time. Is he the guy that you think can take Carolina further along long term? What do you think? I'm asking you because I know a lot of Carolina fans and they're like, well, it's tough. What do you think? I'll ask Mike. Mike, the Carolina guy.
It's tough to say. I mean, I love Hubert as a selection there, though I was a little ruffled by the treatment of Steve Robinson. But I don't know if Steve would have considered staying on as an assistant there. So, and you had to go younger, I think, at that time. This is funny. This is a little off topic, but watching last night in a game where the Tar Heels played so poorly, and I give credit to Clemson because their defense was stifling and they're so balanced. And Carolina has not been a great defensive team for a long time, although they made strides this year. But did anyone watching that game when they went down 18 points, 16 points, and sort of stayed there think they were going to be in it at the end? That was old school Dean Smith Carolina to me. So I don't know. My heart was rekindled. I don't think it's obvious without Caleb Wilson, they're missing an offensive piece that could lift them and take them to another level. And so I don't know. The recruiting was better this year. I love Visar. I think he's a great player. But hey, Duke just comes in and looks at the top 10 recruits in the nation every year, and they get there whatever they need, 4, 5, 6 of them. And as much as I would deride them and the fact that they can't seem to get over the hump and win a national championship this way, I think that speaks more to this process we've talked about. That it's no way to play. It's no way to check. Every night is senior night. I saw a stat. What was that stat I saw about? I'll have it next week maybe. But there was something about how few seniors, who had played at their one school, were actually celebrating senior night last week. It made my chin drop. And of course, I've got it written on a little tiny piece of paper in writing I can't read, so I'm not going to sit here and look for it. But back to the Carolina question though. It's just the success Duke has had makes everybody else look worse. They have dominated and that was true even before Hubert took over, and he did have that great season when gave Coach K a couple losses there late in the year, that including his final game. And I'm not going to hang a hat on that because they should be competing for national championships. So what I'm saying is, and this is what I always cop out on this, until someone can tell me what the direction of college athletics is, I really don't know how to answer questions like that, because where are we going to be in another 2 years? What's going to happen? How much is NIL and the transfer portal and all those things going to continue to rock it, because rock the game, because it's just not what it was, and it's not as much fun for those of us that have loved it and been involved, and you see the coaches that have decided to hang up their whistles. It's just you're getting me on an old man depression thing here early.
I don't know. Well, you couldn't be more right about senior day. I don't understand why we even do it. Like, we did it at basketball, and I'm like, none of these guys, they're not. I mean, what are we doing?
We didn't even get a chance to know these kids.
What are we doing? Yeah.
And I don't know if people are paying attention, but under two different coaches, the last 2 years, we've returned one player to the following year. How can you have any tradition, continuity, anything like that anymore? And yet, how can you compete if you don't play that game that everybody else is playing?
I mean, I don't have any answers. You're right. I mean, their questions are there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either.
I don't know. But you're right. 100% right. You're always right.
No, not so much anymore. I'm that old man with my britches hiked up to my chest, sitting back in my chair going, back in the day, get off my lawn.
Well, back in the day was pretty damn good. We're finding out that back in the day was pretty damn good. So there we go.
Doesn't watching the ACC tournament always bring a little bit of the back for everybody?
Like yesterday, quarterfinal. Yeah, it did. Like, you see the brat, you're like, this is why we used to miss school. I mean, this is why we used to skip that day, right? This is it. It was.
1977, the first year I had a car to drive to school, and I walked out on maybe it was 76 because I was 16. Yeah, 76. Yeah, I had a car that I drove to school, and I had to stay after because I had to work on a newspaper. So that day when PE class ended and we got out of there quick, I didn't even shower. I just went out the side door of the school, hopped in my car, and got home because I knew the quarterfinals were starting at the ACC, and I had to watch.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. A lot of people are saying that at some point teachers would roll TVs in there. I never had that happen. That's pretty cool. Before it changed, they said they would roll TVs into their school and say, "Yep, this is what we're doing today. Just enjoy."
I've heard those stories too, and in big cities back when the World Series actually played during the daylight, things like that. The ACC. I showed you my collection of ACC handbooks back to the 70s. So, I knew memorize the rosters. I knew everybody's players. I can't do that anymore because the roster changes every year on every team so much. It didn't used to do that. There was those guys you could watch, and the classic example is for those of us that grew up in Virginia. You saw Ralph Sampson come in as a freshman, and he really wasn't a very good speaker, and then you watched him, get interviewed every year and take UVA to those heights, and you saw what the education of a college degree was doing for him. And I don't think there's been many ads like that that were so tangible for people to see things like that. The same thing. Athletics has really been the stage has let Virginia Tech take off too. When you think back to where they were in the early 70s and the late 60s, and then the affiliation with the Big East, and suddenly they're on TV all the time, and you get to watch the commercials promoting the good things going on there, and it was just so valuable. And then finally, ACC membership, but it's we don't value things as much anymore, and that's why you gotta. It's not just, hey, I get a free education at a great university. You're telling me I get that, and then a chance to go on after that. Well, now it's like, okay, but how much money am I going to get?
That's all it is. That's all it is. It's nothing more. People want to try to make it into more. No, it's nothing more. I've talked to college basketball. He wouldn't mind. I'm pretty close with Mike Morrell. He told me, because Rick, we had a relationship with the kid. I've known him since I got here, since he was in middle school. Family, close, Christmas cards. He's blown up. He blew up when everybody started coming after, similar schools. It came down to got a call one day. Mike, we have a relationship, but this other school is offering quite a bit more. So we're going to go there. It didn't matter about the relationship. Didn't matter about the history. Didn't matter about the dinners. Didn't matter about the Christmas cards. Doesn't matter about the school. Sorry. All it came down to was, and that's all that matters. I'm convinced you can talk about playing time. You can talk about coaches. It all comes down to what they're getting today. That's all that matters. I'm sorry. If people don't want to believe that, you're wrong. You're
right.
wrong.
And you got to recruit your own team too, because it happens every year now.
Every year.
So it's gone from like one of those jobs that, we all sort of dreamed about. Boy, wouldn't it be great to be a college basketball assistant? I can't even imagine now.
Oh my gosh.
You have to do to stay on top of, to keep everybody happy. And it's not just the kids, it's the parents and the friends and all that. Recruiting has always been tough like that. But before there was, like I said, people valued what colleges meant, and I don't sense we do anymore. And that's the true sad. And look, there's so many stories I could start rolling out about kids coming to Radford from smaller communities than Radford that, you saw their wide eyes just being in the big city of Radford on the big campus. And it's really not. But what did the experience, even if some of them, and a lot of them did wash out, big names washed out after a year because they just wanted to go back home. They were homesick. But the 1 year of college, I know it meant a lot for a lot of them. And then the others that went through, Patrinda Tony's the classic example for me when I think about how she couldn't even talk to me her freshman year when we rode close to each other on the bus on these trips. And then, then she was coming by my office her senior year just to talk trash and complain about the stats she wasn't getting. No, she didn't. And then she's a church elder now. So she's well respected, and just to think about that quiet girl from Bassett and what she turned into, that's one of my favorite stories, and that's why you're sitting where you are doing what you're doing, because these too, and it's so rewarding to be a part of that. But part of it is getting to see that evolution over time, which we don't get to anymore, because everybody's going to be saying goodbye here as the transfer portal opens up and makes it really hard to write previews in the summer.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
By the way, my college football magazine deadlines are in the second week of April. Now think about that. We're just
oh my goodness, how are you supposed to write about anything? You don't know who's
about
who.
the time spring practice opens. So
wow.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Well, I am the SID whisperer.
You are. Yeah, Ryan Price says, yeah, the interview with the Queens College assistant. Yeah, it was a big story. The SEC assistant coach sat courtside trying to get Queens' best player to transfer during pregame. This is where we are today. Tell them about what kind of money they could offer. All right? That's crazy. Paul Hightower. Hey, Paul's checking in, Mike. You know that guy. You know that Hightower guy from Radford. Remember him?
Rowdy Red.
Rowdy
Red. Hall of Famer.
He says money and potential playing time is a tiebreaker potentially, but you'll never hear, hey, they had my major ever again.
Paul knows a lot about this. He was the first Radford to get tenure. So yeah, it was Paul was around for a while.
Paul knows a little bit. Yeah, that's good.
And people don't even remember this. He came to Radford as an athlete. He was a cross country runner. There's some trivia for you.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Did he run cross country in the Rowdy Red suit? Now that would be an accomplishment.
Pre-Rowdy Red.
Pre-Rowdy Red. Okay.
Yeah. There's oh my gosh.
Did Rowdy Red kind of evolve because of post-college debauchery, and then maybe that was his exercise?
Rowdy Red was mostly Chuck Taylor. Well, all really Chuck Taylors. But you got to remember,
it was Chuck Taylor.
The times, the San Diego Chicken had taken off, and the Phillies had the Philly Fanatic, and those big Muppet costumes were all the rage. And the fact that Radford got one like that, it was sort of modeled after the Hilltoppers there in East. Western. What is that? Eastern or Western Kentucky? I'm having a brain lapse here. But anyway, Chuck Taylor was from that area, and he liked that whole thing, and got us a similar mascot. And
yes,
but you have to put it in the context of the times too. None of us knew what Rowdy Red was or what it was going to be about, but a poster appeared with Rowdy and full poster there. Like you'd put up in your room, like those old Sports Illustrated posters us guys had. And Rowdy had his foot up on an old piece of luggage, like, you'd see the women bring into Radford back in the 1920s. He had his foot up on that, and it had some stickers on it. And it said, it was for the opening of the Devon Center in 1981. It said Rowdy Red is moving in. And that's the first time we saw anything like that. And everybody had one of those posters up in their room at Radford that year. We didn't even know what it was going to be, what Rowdy Red was. And then, it appeared, and Paul was so good.
What a great marketing, man. That's great.
It really was. We were really good at that stuff back then. And I say awesome. I was a student going, hey, that's really cool.
Yeah, let's do that.
Then I got to work in the office, and it was really cool. And I remember my old boss, Rick Rogers, did an interview with Paul and Rowdy Red. I loved it. I need to find that. But it was cool. And then, Paul, everybody knew. I don't know how he slept, because he was always doing the rowdy stuff, or he was at intramurals reffing every game I ever played in.
He has that poster in his garage, he says. That's awesome.
I don't think I have one anymore, but
I need that. Well, and the thing about it, we had Rowdy Red. People were wrong. People were like, coming to me, did they copy Elmo? No. We had Rowdy Red. You're not going to convince me that somebody at Sesame Street didn't see Rowdy Red and create Elmo. Elmo came 2 years after Rowdy Red. We influenced Elmo. I guarantee you we did. There's no question we did. We had it first. We had it first at Radford.
That is definitely true. We have time for the quick history lesson on why there was.
Yeah, because Jen bailed on us today because she's traveling for work.
Okay, so. Well, before I got to Radford, back in 1978, when Coach Davis came to Radford as the first full-time basketball coach under the first full-time athletic director, Chuck Taylor, playing in Peters Hall, 900-seat Peters Hall. That team won 28 games, I believe, that year, Coach Davis's team. And it was almost when I go back and look at the roster, I remember when I got there, there were of the 15, 16 players on the roster, 11 of them were from what that time we called the Timesland, which sports fans here of a certain age will remember. Those are the kids that were just from the Southwest Virginia areas, Roanoke Valley District, New River Valley District, and those just around that. We had like 11 players were local. And we won 28 games. Of course, the schedule was tough to put together because we were an unaffiliated NAIA team and headed towards NCAA Division II in a year or so. But that team was so good and so much fun to watch. The students really rallied behind them. And a group formed and called themselves the Radford Rowdies. The Rowdies, and Paul Hightower was one of those guys, too, because I've seen him in the pictures there in the bleachers going crazy with all the kind of stuff they did. Like the time the guys got robbed up at one of the West Virginia schools we played at halftime. Somebody broke in a locker room and stole all the team's wallets and money and everything. And so when that team came back and played in Peters Hall, they were greeted by the Radford Rowdies with chants of "We want our wallets," just reverberating in that little building. "We want our wallets." That had to be pretty intimidating, and I think Radford won by 40 that night after getting jobbed on the road, if you could imagine something like that happening in college athletics. But anyway, so yeah, that's where the name the Rowdy Red came from. It was from the Radford Rowdies, and Paul was a Radford Rowdy, and just the stories of those guys, because you could actually, if you were sitting in the first row of the bleachers in Peters Hall, you could actually stretch your legs out and trip people running up and down the court.
Yeah.
The place was that small. And it was quite the home court advantage there for some time and some legendary moments. But what signaled the birth of big-time athletics in a way at Radford was the Dedman Center, that new place that Dr. Dedman had gone out and told the railroads down there that, hey, all that land down by the river between us and the river, you should give it to us. You should donate it. And he got it. And then he went to Richmond. He went to Richmond and got the money to build the building. So that's why you name something for a guy when you do all that kind of legwork to make something like that happen. And yeah, and now, it's just, being in love with a place is kind of like being in love with a woman. You don't see them age. You see them with the same eyes that you first fell in love with. And that's the way Radford has been for me. And it's just been in recent years that I started looking at Dedman Center going, hey, this place is pretty old. It's 40 some years old. We need to think about the next step here. And they've done some really nice things with it, but we never had enough office space down there. We never were really in a way that we could host the men's tournament because, there weren't enough locker rooms downstairs. We never really had the press room we needed back in the day till they took away the handball and racquetball courts.
There he is, by the way, Mike. If you look at the screen right now.
Yeah, I do. I recognize that photo.
Is that Hightower with the two college babes? I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Well,
nice choice, Paul. Nice choice, Paul. Nicely done.
Paul maximized his time at Radford. There's no doubt. And I don't know if people follow me, and I got so many friends from your show. It's one of the reasons I love this. I got Facebook friends that I really have never met, but I feel like I know them because we're kindred spirits. There's that thing on my Facebook recurring, thanks to Denny Van Pelt and others, about Christopher Cross. And of course, that overlaps the time I came to Radford. That was Christopher Cross's big Grammy-winning year, 1980, and wow, I looked a little like Christopher Cross back then, the curly hair and everything, and a
little. You were doppelgangers.
Yeah, you were
the stunt double. If you were ever in a movie career, you were the stunt double.
All right, well, go Google a picture of Paul McKeskey with the Milwaukee Bucks. I look like him too. But anyway, yeah, I look like Christopher Cross. And one night at Sackett's, Paul Hightower introduced me to a girl there and said that I was Christopher Cross in town for a concert at Virginia Tech. That's where all this started. That's where it all started.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Was it one of these girls? He may have been one of those girls. Who knows with Paul?
It was dark in Sackett's. And my eyes aren't what they used to be. No, but look, you know. All right, I went and I left Radford because I needed that football experience on my sports college sports resume.
Yeah.
And I tell you, leaving Radford was so tough. This is not a knock on Virginia Tech women because there's quality over there, but you don't have the quality and the quantity that Radford had per capita. When I worked in Castle Coliseum for 2 years.
There we go, right there. I mean, come on.
When I worked in Castle Coliseum for 2 years, all I saw were football and basketball players and girls in sweats. There were women athletes there but it was not the volume that you got to see just walking out to the post office at lunchtime at Radford from my Walker Hall office and just seeing what we used to call the parade. It was just amazing.
That's why you're always smiling back at those days. That's why.
Well, yeah, when I got there, the ratio was still 4 girls to every 1 guy.
True, we were a women's school. That's exactly right.
And it was just a couple of years before that. It was 8-1, and before that, it was like 2,000 to 28.
Paul says that looks like the second Stute. Unfortunately, that's not him.
Well, that's what I thought. I was looking at it looked like later 80s wear there and everything.
That's good stuff. I don't know. I was having a conversation with some very prominent people from Radford who work on campus about Rowdy Red, why we can't get it going again. And they hadn't thought about it. I said, well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be harder now because students on campus know what those players are making. And they're not so willing to come and be part of it because they're like, here I am trying to maybe work 2 jobs. I got student loans to play, and not just at our place, but everywhere.
Oh, it's everywhere. The college,
it's everywhere,
down all over. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let me explain what happened to Rowdy Red.
What the hell happened? Where did he
go?
As
time went on from the late 70s, where we had Radford Rowdies, and that became Rowdy Red. By the mid 80s. People didn't know about the Radford Rowdies. They didn't understand the history. They didn't understand why there was a big red Muppet that was our mascot, and we were the Highlanders. And he had a plaid cap, but there wasn't much else to distinguish him as a Radford mascot. And in particular, I remember a columnist in the Tartan, and I'm in that fraternity too, but I'm not at this time. Had written a column about, and the one line I remember, why do we have a big walking ad for New York Carpet World walking around at the Dedman Center? No one knew what Rowdy Red meant. It lost its that people come in and they don't know the heritage. You have the history and all that. So yeah, and it was a smart idea to try and incorporate the Highlanders a little bit more, so people would take a little bit more pride in that. And that whole thing with the shield now and we got all that, and I love it. I kept trying to tell people to call us the Highs because Highlanders is too long in a headline, but that didn't really get much traction either. And of course, by that time we had the Lady Highs too. Oh, there you go.
Is that him?
The Ritz. Yeah.
Is that you, Paul, putting on the Ritz? That looks like you.
That's got to be him. Yeah.
That's great.
And Joe Davis. Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Davis and Paul Hightower right there is Rowdy Red. That's beautiful. Look at that. Look how smart. You guys were way ahead of your time in your marketing, man. I mean, I'm serious.
That campaign won national awards, and the women's press guide that year, which I wrote cover to cover pretty much, was
so cool, man.
Won 4th place or something like that in the nation. So I was kind of proud of that. But yeah, that's ancient history.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
I do miss press guides and things like that. Now they're all available.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's great.
You're making me dizzy. Stop it.
I know. I couldn't find the right screen. You'll have a seizure now because of the screen. Ah!
Oh man, I didn't. So when we used to go down there and take those photos, we'd often take one of those ladder platforms so the photographer could shoot up high. And I always made sure that I got to go up the ladder and get near the rim with the basketball and have him shoot from down below. So it looked like I was dunking, every year. That was a tradition to give me a photo like that.
That's great. Well, listen, you have a great weekend, man. Thanks for spending a little extra time with us. It's always great. I got it. We had to make up. You haven't been on a couple weeks, so we had to.
Yeah, it was good to be back. Yeah, but I probably got too many minutes today. I need a little load management, Rick. So
no, I know you do. You got to rest. God forbid you. And hey, we want to make sure we don't play as many games. Bad week for a bad league already this week. But anyway, don't get me started. Okay. Steve Kerr can stop talking anytime, and Bam Adebayo's 83 is the biggest atrocity to the game that I've seen in a long time.
No, the Wizards are the biggest atrocity. Their defense.
True.
Again, my mother's Sunday school group probably could score off a set play against the Wizards. It's Miss Whitney from the corner. Download to Mrs. Hash. Easy.
And she scores.
Yeah, I just
and won.
And I think they were the ones actually defending Bam Adebayo. If I'm not, it was a Sunday school church group. The Wizards. How do they do it? How do they stockpile high draft picks over and over and over and go nowhere, and then load up on? I'm sorry, older players that really Trae Young's going to fix our defense, and well, at least we've got Anthony Davis on the bench watching now.
The league is just such a joke. All right.
Well, that's a longer debate. You and I need to have a counterpoint.
We do. We need to have.
God love me. Those are the highlights I most like to watch in the morning when I don't just have my college athletics. But there's a lot of great players that are fun to watch, and I'm seeing players do stuff I've never seen before, and in a good way. Although what is happening to travel and palming the ball, it's worse than ever now, as far as I can tell, in college basketball. But again, who wants to watch guys blow the whistles? And Bam shot 44 free throws the other night. Who wants to see that? Come on, NBA. You do need to see this stuff.
And then I saw the box. He's followed up last night 6 of 23 from the floor. So let's just stop pretending that this league has any credibility. Can we? Can we just stop?
Bam is an outlier. I mean, of all the guys who've had all this kind of scoring games, he's not a Hall of Fame or anything. And I did look something up about that, because the top 10 scoring games go down to from the 100 down to the 71. Wilt has 5 of them. And he's the guy represented on a list. 5 times he did it.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you have a great weekend. Stay safe. Enjoy your hoops. And we'll reconvene next week.
Yes, Goober says hey, and let's play ball. And
hey to Goober.
Guess we'll be talking about this next week.
All right. That'll work. All right, man. You stay safe. Be good.
Look at the sun shining on me. It's like
I see that. It's like the aura, the angels coming through from heaven. Oh,
it's like a Spielberg film here.
It is. You're like having a Spielberg moment right now.
Look at that now.
Yeah. Good stuff.
All right. See you guys.
All right, man. There you go. Mike Ashley. That was great seeing Rowdy Red. I'm going to do it one more time. Paul, this is great. That's smart. Look at that. Putting on the Ritz. Coach Davis. That's awesome. Look at the tartan vest and the bow tie. You guys, there's a reason you guys are in such high regard, because that's way ahead of its time. You're looking at early 80s. That's us transferring into Division I, man. That's so cool. Yes, they are the Bullets, not the Wizards. Thank you, Morris. You are 100%. Did you know crime's down 96% in that area because they changed their name? Oh, wait. No, it's not. What in the hell are we doing? Tebow counters. He says, hey, there's plentiful amount of eye candy in Blacksburg. Every time I ride through there, I'll leave with a sore neck. Wayne, Dad went to Virginia Tech, Mom at Radford, conceived then. Story as old as time. That's good stuff. Great week. got a lot going on next week. Donnie Lynn's going to join us. We're going to break down the bracket. Jump into brackets this weekend. Don't wait. They come out Sunday night, and then you have time to go through there, all right? Go through them. Find out where the Radford women play in the NIT as well. Tech women will find out their bracket Sunday night, where they're going to be. Big Dog Sports Talk through the ESPN Tournament Challenge, BIGDAWG. And if you want a specific link, here it is again, but I'll send it to you via your messenger as well. Thanks again to all of our wonderful sponsors, Family Fencing, for sponsoring our studio, McClellan Chiropractic. Thank you so much, Mark Hunley, Professional Door Incorporated, sponsor of our text line. Louise Baker, Team Long and Foster, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, the NRV Super Bowl, Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel. Thanks, Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Stacy will be with us next week, Stacy Compton. They are our presenting sponsor. Little River Heating and Air with Charles Lee. The attorney Ryan Price, sponsor of our BDST Fan Question of the Week. National Bank, member FDIC. Professional Door, I mentioned them. The Ready Set Fund, and our newest sponsor, Sundown Electric. Thank you so much for everything. It means the world. It means the world. Anthony wants to get one in. ACC officiating is horrendous. Officiating across the board is horrendous. Yes. It seems to get worse every year. Yet they're getting more money and asking for more money. We just saw it happen to Radford in the Big South last week. It happens everywhere. I don't understand why it continues to be let go. Nobody wants to talk about it. And then it comes back into the whole gambling tie-in we're seeing. The NCAA, by the way, is going to incorporate now extra monitoring devices on these officials. It hasn't been announced yet, but we're going to find out at some point after the NCAA tournament. We'll talk about this next week. Yeah, zero accountability because everybody, hey, can't mess with the officials. Stop. Let's just stop. And anybody who's covering up for them might be involved too. We're going to hear about something the NCAA has clearly uncovered with cheating in college basketball that they haven't announced yet because they made the announcement that they're going to go through extra means of protecting the games from officials from betting. They didn't just do that on a whim. Remind me, we'll get into this on Monday. This is big. I meant to talk about it yesterday. This is big. This is big. Absolutely huge. I believe they've uncovered something that might tear down the game of college basketball. That's my opinion, and some other people think that too. All right. Thanks to everybody. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. We need to get to 1,000. Please help. Vic, you've been great. Welcome. You're welcome anytime. One more. Should online sports betting be legal in all 50 states? Online? Yes. Can we prevent people from cheating, or can we keep people from doing their thing? No. I mean, all I know is it wasn't legal before. It was still happening. It's not going to change the way that it is now. It just makes it a little easier. But this was going on long before online betting. All right, great stuff. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Coach Elmo. Thanks to Mike. Jen, we missed you. Safe travels. Have a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Take care, everybody. And if you missed any part of the show today, I'll be adding a lot of shorts on the video. Check it out. Join our March Madness group, Big Dog Sports Talk. We'll break down the brackets on Monday.